Hello everybody and welcome to my review of Divergent, which is the new science fiction film that's come out. So, the story is that, well, there's a backstory first actually. The backstory is that to keep, peace in the world, in this dystopian world that the characters live in, they have been split into 5 different factions. Yeah, I know what you're thinking. Bit cliche, kind of the Hunger Games. I'll talk more about that later. So yeah, anyway, and it follows Triss, or Beatrice, whatever you want to call her. She has, well, everyone has to decide which faction they want to go in. And, they have to take this test, and then it determines, who they are and who they want to be, and then she has to choose which one she wants, and she chooses the one called Dauntless, which is a sort of military-based one, where she has to train and everything. Again, Hunger Games. But yeah, no, and it sort of follows her character and then how she is divergent, meaning that the tests didn't actually, well, her tests were inconclusive, meaning that she is unknown, and anyone that is unknown is eliminated. So for her own safety she lies and pretends, and then she ends up she's pretty much, I don't know, she kind of goes on from there really. I mean, I don't quite know the full story because I've only seen the film. I haven't read the book, so I'm not going to be the guy that compares this to the book because I haven't read the book. So sorry about that. Just want to get that out there. Yeah, no, she has yeah, and then she sort of realises after a while that the world that she's living in is not the right one, and then she kind of makes I don't know. I can't actually describe the rest of it, but yeah, no. What I've just told you is the basic premise. So, Divergent. I saw this yesterday. I was gonna have this review up yesterday, but I don't know why I didn't. So I apologise for that. Divergent is a very interesting film, purely because there's just so much similarity between this and the Hunger Games, and I'm not going to compare this to the Hunger Games too much. I'll try not to anyway. I mean, it's a very weird thing because the Hunger Games is obviously very popular. I mean, Suzanne Collins has obviously written these brilliant books, which I haven't read, but I've heard that they're very good, and the films have gone on to be financial successes, and everyone seems to love them, and even the critics are buzzing about these movies. I think the critics are really enjoying them. Divergent, on the other hand, I don't think that it got the praise that it wanted to. I mean, personally, my opinion, it was okay. I mean, I saw the trailer and I thought, okay, this seems interesting. I mean, and for the first pop, it is pretty interesting. I mean, you follow the character, Triss. You follow her. I'm just going to call her Triss. It's just short for Beatrice. It's easier, and that's what she calls herself in the film. Triss is kind of thrown into this, and she doesn't know who she is really. And it's a movie about identity. It's about finding out who you are, and I think that's a very interesting concept. In that respect, it is very original in that respect. But it's just the backstory. The backstory is it's the Hunger Games. I mean, I just can't get over that. I mean, I don't think I ever will. If I ever see Divergent again, which I don't really plan to, then I will end up just comparing it to the Hunger Games, because that's just how I see it. I mean, on the plus side, the acting is solid. I mean, Kate Winslet is in it as well, which is bizarre. She's not in it much, but when she's there, she's pretty good. I mean, she's looking old. She's looking kind of older now. I mean, I don't exactly know how old she is. I think she's about at least in her 40s, at least. I mean, she must have been. She was quite young when she did Titanic. I mean, ever since then, she's moved on and she's done quite a lot, and she must be in her 40s or 50s. Anyway, yeah, don't know the actress's name. I don't know half the cast in this film. I just know Kate Winslet. The girl that plays Triss, don't know her name. She's pretty good. She's a solid heroine, and I'm not going to lie, she's quite hot. Yeah, I thought she was. I mean, it's not like we're not going to have any Oscar-worthy performances like newcomers. I mean, if we were to get any Oscar-worthy performances, it would probably be from Kate Winslet, who doesn't really do anything. I mean, it's not going to be. It's not a masterpiece. It's not a masterpiece. I mean, there are, and you know, there are loads of characters, and some of them you don't really care about. I mean, some of them you do. There are some quite good characters in here, and for the most part, all the characters that they do focus on are developed pretty well, and you know, it's a solid development, especially the main character Triss. I mean, although, you know, her family, we don't really see much of them. I mean, her mother sort of comes in towards the second half as well. I didn't think the mum and dad were going to be in it much, but the mum comes in sort of halfway through and sort of tries to help her out, and her brother's not really that important. He is just kind of there. He's kind of along for the ride, really. I mean, she makes this friend when she goes to Dauntless, and you know, she's quite. I think her name's Christina. Christina was a good character. The guys that were running the Dauntless, I mean, that guy. I mean, I can't remember the guy's name, but that guy was a prick. He was awful. He was a dick. I mean, the actor played him well, but I mean, wow, blimey. I mean, even every little thing, you know, it was weird. And the other guy, for some reason, calls himself Four, not Thor. 4, as in the number 4. Why? God knows. But yeah, he's only brought in so they can have this love triangle, this love interest thing, which, you know, in this sort of story, it's bound to happen. I mean, it happens in the Hunger Games, and you know, it's going to happen here. Although it takes a while for them to actually develop their relationship, which I kind of like. Whereas Katniss and Peter in the Hunger Games, they're kind of forced to fall in love, and in the end they do fall in love. They kind of pretend to fall in love, and then in the end they end up falling in love. Well, I think that's my perception of it anyway. But this guy, that guy, the love interest. He has a real name, but I can't remember it. And you know, their relationship does develop. That was done well. That was done really well. I thought it was nice seeing the two characters grow close together. I mean, especially as he was kind of an instructor helping her out. There was a moment when, you know, he was trying to help her fight, and then, you know, there's like an awkward stare. You're just like, yeah, you can tell they like each other. It was a bit predictable, but even so, it was handled well. Mackie Q was in it. She was good in the scene she was in. Yeah, I don't have much to say about it. It's good. I mean, visually, it looks really stunning. I mean, this whole dystopian future thing. I like the look of these dystopian futures. I mean, in the Hunger Games. Sorry, comparing to the Hunger Games again, but comparing it to the Hunger Games, you know, the capital has a real, you know, vibrance to it. Whereas this doesn't have that sort of vibrance, but it has a sort of, you know, distinct look. You go, okay, this is very futuristic, and I like the visuals. I liked the visuals. Yeah, and there was some good scenes. However, there were some unnecessary scenes, and, you know, my only other criticism really is that I found this movie way too long. It was way too long. It was 2 hours 20 minutes, and it really should have been 2 hours. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I haven't read the book, so I don't know how much they missed out or how much they included. But I just thought it dragged on a bit towards the latter half. I nearly found myself falling asleep, not because I wasn't interested. I was kind of tired. I mean, at the same time, I was losing interest. I was like, come on. But, you know, for what it's worth, Divergent, it was okay. I mean, I wouldn't call it solid to say. I mean, it might just reach the level of average. I mean, it's not my particular type of film, but then again, I didn't think The Hunger Games was going to be my particular type of film, and I ended up loving those movies. I mean, I'm looking forward to the next two. I might re-review Catching Fire. Because I haven't reviewed The Hunger Games, so I'll review that at some point, and then I'll re-review Catching Fire, because my Catching Fire review, the sound quality is awful, so I need to do that again. Yeah, no. Divergent. It's okay. I mean, it's nothing spectacular. It had some cool, interesting stuff, but it also had some pretty cliched and kind of annoying stuff. So, for that reason, it gets a 6 out of 10. I think that's kind of generous, actually. I mean, given all that I've said, I think 6 out of 10 is pretty generous. So yeah, that's really it. I don't have much to say. I mean, the next recent film that I'm going to see is probably The Amazing Spider-Man 2, then X-Men: Days of Future Past, then Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, and I'll probably review Rise of the Planet of the Apes. I don't know if I'll get time to do the other ones. We'll see. I will review other films as well, and I've got a load more content to do. I better close this up because I'll be going on for 10 minutes. So, thank you all for watching, and as always, I am Mr. TARDIS11. See ya.